What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, continuing with the Madden 18, Madden 17 roster breakdowns, and today we're taking a look at the Cincinnati Bengals. So if you're new to this series, what you're going to see here is these rosters have free agency moves, draft picks for all teams for the first 3 rounds, rounds 4 down drafted free agent. I've just included the notable guys. The ratings are based off of my opinion, Pro Football Focus, and their stats, and we hit 35,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much. And these rosters are now available. That was the whole point. At 35,000, I would have let them come out. We literally hit well over, how long would it take us? 1,000 subscribers in less than a month, which is, this is a down period for Madden. So that was absolutely incredible. Thank you guys for doing that. The download link should be either in the recommended videos. It might be in the video description. I don't know where it's going to get. You can find it. Just search the channel. It was a live stream. So without further ado, let's jump right in here to the Cincinnati Bengals. And why we're still continuing this series is very important because I want you guys to still help me out with the overalls. I want to have the best roster period for the next 2 to 3 months as we play Madden 17 for the rest of its life cycle. So if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you see here today, leave a comment in that comment section below. So jump to the quarterback spot. We give Andy Dalton an 84 overall. Last season, Mr. Dalton, I don't know what his nickname is, probably something with ginger in it. 6-9-1 as a starter, featuring in all 16 games, 4,200 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. So it's not a great stat line, also not a horrible stat line. Anytime you have a full 16-game season where you throw for over 4,000 yards and your interceptions are still in the single digits, it's not bad. Just not nearly enough touchdowns. Clearly, you could see that Tyler Boyd was not enough to replace what they lost in Marvin Jones and Mohamed Sanu. Have they done enough this offseason? We will wait and see. But Andy Dalton still is, fringe good. I don't know if he's ever really entered elite territory. There was a time, I think, was it last year or the year before that he was fringe MVP candidate. But overall, as a whole, Andy Dalton is a good quarterback that can play great, but I don't think he'll ever be elite. And that's saying as a guy that when Andy Dalton was coming out of TCU, this was actually, I think, maybe the first year I started talking about the draft on my channel, and he was my favorite quarterback, or at least one of my favorite quarterbacks in that draft class. But yeah, 84 I think is a fair grade. McCarron here with a 72. One of the better backups in the NFL. Very intriguing. Anytime a team needs to trade for a quarterback, his name comes up. And we have Jeff Driscoll. Florida Gator scum, 65. God, he was bad at Florida. Running back, we have Jeremy Hill, who we gave an 84 overall. Last season finished with 840 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns for a total of 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 9 total touchdowns. Not a bad season. I mean, there are a lot of trade talks for that he's got to be a free agent this upcoming free agency period. So that's why they drafted a certain running back that we're going to talk about, even though I don't really want to talk about him. We got Giovanni Bernard, who's banged up last year. Still giving him an 83 overall. One of the best receiving backs in football today. Featured in 10 games. Only started 2 with 673 yards from scrimmage and 3 touchdowns. Again, when he's healthy, this guy here is an 1,000 yards from scrimmage back every day of the week. So he has an 83. They got Joe Mixon in the second round. I think it was second round. Pretty sure it was the second round. From the University of Oklahoma. We all know I wanted him in Philly, and they got him, which pretty much puts the writing on the wall that Jerry Hill will be gone, and it'll be a Mixon-Bernard backfield, I think, for the foreseeable future there in Cincinnati. I'm not sure what his role will be as a rookie. Sure, he'll get his fair share of snaps, though. Great pick. As much as I'm just going to leave it a great pick. I don't want to elaborate too much on this. Pierman 71 and Trey Carson 61. Fullback, they have Ryan Hewitt 78, not a bad grade, solid fullback. Wide receiver, we get AJ Green, a 93 overall. People say 93. His stat lead didn't even break 1,000 yards. So I originally had him as a 95. And what I've been doing, if you've been watching throughout the series, anytime someone misses more than, I'd say, 5-6 games in a season that's elite, we usually give them a 2-point deduction max. So that's what we did here with AJ Green. I still think actually he's a little bit underrated, given the fact that, outside of last season where if they actually didn't shut him down, he wanted to come back and play, I think, the last 2 weeks to break his 1,000. He's got 1,000 yards every year he's been in the league. I mean, AJ Green is elite every sense of the word. Still ended up making the Pro Bowl last season, even though it doesn't really mean a whole lot anymore. 66 catches, 964 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So he's sitting there with a 93. Brandon LaFell got an 82 overall. Last season, Brandon LaFell finished with 64 catches for 860 yards and 6 touchdowns. Good productive season from him. They got John Ross, the burner, Mr. 422, with their first-round pick. I'm personally not a huge fan of that pick, but I totally get it for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's gonna be really, really overpowered, at least from a man standpoint. Obviously, get the 99 speed, 99 acceleration. He's gonna be a baller, man, if he can stay healthy. We got Tyler Boyd, who I think is another great young pick. 74 overall was the weapon they added in last year's draft. He finished this season with 54 catches, 600 yards, and a touchdown. So I mean, this core right here, even at guys like Cody Core, and they got Josh Malone this year out of Tennessee. I think that's that's a pretty solid wide receiver core. The tight end spot, we got Tyler Eifert, who gave him a 90 overall. Again, another guy, he was a 92, took a 2-point hit because he was banged up last season. Only featured in 8 games, started 2 of them, had 29 catches for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns in that. So if you did like your simple math and you would have said, oh my God, if you would have started way more games, you probably would have had, maybe some of the top stat lines out of any tight end. So we'll study with a 90, much like AJ Green, probably can work his way back up to a higher grade. Uzuma with a 71, Croft 69. To left tackle, we have Andre Smith coming back from the Minnesota Vikings. I thought he was more of a right tackle, but you're looking at ourlads.com, which I use for a lot of my depth charts. They have him based as a left tackle, which is good because I don't think Jake Fisher is good enough, as Pro Football Focus gave Jake Fisher in his limited snaps at a right tackle last season, 44.7. At least Andre Smith is a little bit more serviceable. Then again, coming from a very bad Minnesota Vikings offensive line. I mean, this O-line is a lot of questions, man. Almost as much as the goddamn Seahawks. Left guard, they have Clint Bloling, who's not terrible at all. We give him a 77. At center, we have Russell Bodine, 78. Pro Football Focus gave him a 78. At right guard, they have Christian Westerman, slated to be their starter after they lost Kevin Zeitler in free agency. He was pretty good at Arizona State. All right. Maybe his strength could have to be up a lot. I'm pretty sure he bench pressed a lot. And at right tackle, it's going to be Abuye, Cedric Abuye, who we gave a generous 72 overall. For all in all, man, if I'm a Bengal fan, I'll be very worried about this offensive line. They also have Winston, their old man, Eric Winston. But I think they probably got to give the reins on Abuye, who's, I'm pretty sure he was a first-round pick, wasn't he? First or second-round pick? I'm pretty sure he was a first-round pick. When did they draft him? Let's see this. So he was a first-round pick in 2015. Hasn't really lived up to expectations. Even Jake Fisher on the left tackle spot, he was a second-round pick. Neither one of those guys, I don't think, have lived up to their draft billing. Left defensive end, we have Carlos Dunlap, who we gave an 87 overall, and he has one of the most crazy stat lines based off of last season. So last year, 16 starts. He had 3 forced fumbles, 8 sacks, just shy of 50 tackles, and 15 pass deflections. That is absolutely insane from my Florida Gator brethren. So we're giving him an 87, one of the top defensive ends in my roster. He's a beast. Right defensive end, we have Michael Johnson, who we gave a 75 overall. Last season, Michael Johnson featured in all 16 games, had 3 pass deflections, 3.5 sacks, and just shy of 50 tackles. We also have Will Clark here, 73, who last season, Will Clark, what'd you do for me, Will Clark? 16 games appeared, didn't start at any. He had a pass deflection, 4 sacks, and 15 tackles. So a good rotation there. Gilbury, 69, I think we should say. Carl Lawson, 70 overall. That's because this is the one of the few guys I created before the rosters came out, even though his height and weight, you got to edit that in offline player management. He's a beast, man. Tested incredibly well at the combine. Still very surprised that he slipped to what, like the 5th round? Something crazy like that? 4th round? Tremendous value there for the Cincinnati Bengals. Defensive tackle, we have Geno Atkins, who we gave a 90 overall, featured in all 16 games, had 9 sacks and 32 tackles. He's a beast. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Pat Sims, 72. Andrew Billings, 68. We all know I'm high on Billings. Thompson, 67, and a couple other dudes there. Left side linebacker, we have Vincent Ray, who we gave an 83 overall last season. Vincent Ray had in 12 starts, 16 appearances. He had an interception, 7 pass deflections, and just shy of 80 total tackles. He's very serviceable. Now with Carlos Dansby gone, I think his role is going to be a little bit more increased. So I think he's a very, very serviceable left side linebacker. Maybe 83 is a little too generous. Maybe it's a little bit too high. If you think I should adjust that a little bit, let me know. Middle linebacker, we have Kevin Minter coming over from the Arizona Cardinals. A 78, serviceable middle linebacker. Can get nice tackles. You have Nick Vigil here, 65. Yeah, I think really, Vigil probably could be up a couple more points, but Minter, he's solid. He was pretty decent last year with the Cardinals. And at right side linebacker, we have Vontez Burfict, who featured in 11 games. Only played in 11 games and was the leading tackler on this team. Had 2 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 2 sacks, 73 total tackles, and 28 assists. I mean, he's a tackle machine. I think 87's, like I said, he didn't play a whole lot. But he's one of the top outside linebackers. Regardless of your opinion on him, he is one of the more dirtier players in the NFL. I'm a big fan, personally. I think 87 is a good starting point. We have P.J. Dawson here with a 71. And Jordan Willis, who was their 2nd-round draft pick. From a 3rd-round draft pick. Here with a 69. If he's going to play defensive end, outside linebacker, it's yet to be seen. Probably more of a defensive end, to be honest with you. But you can do it with it what you want when you get your hands on these rosters. Jump to the secondary, we give Pac-Man Jones an 81 overall. You know, a little bit of a deduction. I think Adam was an 84. Not a great season by his regard last year. He played in and featured in all 16 games, had 1 interception, 7 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, and just shy of 70 tackles. Which is not bad for the old man, but, you know, a little bit of a down year. But the upgrade went to Drake Kirkpatrick, who got himself a nice contract after having a great season last year. Featured in 15 games. He had 3 picks, 10 pass deflections, and just shy of 50 tackles. So I think both these guys probably about an 81. Pac-Man on the downgrade. Drake Kirkpatrick on the up. We have William Jackson, who I thought was a tremendous pick last year. I'm pretty sure he missed almost the whole season. He was banged up. He's going to come back healthy. They have Josh Shaw, who wasn't terrible last year. Denard, who's still, you know, probably a bust. Kavari Russell, Benny Benwickery. Not a bad stable of corners here in Cincinnati. At free safety, we have George Aloka, who we gave an 83 overall last season. He was tied for first on the team with interceptions with 3. He had 7 pass deflections and 40, 50, 60. Just over 70 total tackles, so a good bounce back year from Aloka, who will give an 83. And at strong safety, we have Sean Williams, who we gave an 81 overall, tied for first on the team in picks with 3 interceptions. He also had 5 pass deflections, a sack, 50, 60, 70, just over 80 tackles. Great season there for Sean Williams. Good safety pairing. Underrated safety pairing, Sean Williams and George Aloka. Overall, pretty underrated, and maybe not pretty underrated, but definitely an upside, solid, serviceable secondary here in Cincinnati. Good defense. Good defense as always. We gave Randy Bullock a 77. They also drafted Jake Elliott, the kicker out of Memphis. That's probably going to be a kicking battle. Maybe go with the cheaper option here in Elliott. And at punter, Kevin Hubert with a 79. So there you go, guys. Those are your Madden 18. Madden 17 Cincinnati Bengal roster. As always, if you agree, or disagree with any of the ratings you see here today, let me know in the comments section below. If this is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Download those rosters. They are available now on the Xbox One. Sorry, Sony ponies. Sorry. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.